Hey, cook it, hey, let go. Welcome back, and of course, welcome back, y'all. What's goody? What's goody? What's goody? What up, Miss D? What up, Miss D? Welcome back to the chat. Y'all, man, let's get into the show, man. It's your girl, Naja Lee, and this is Her Core, Her Rules, the realest women's basketball breakdown on the net, and the only place where hoops meets higher perspective. I promise y'all, each and every episode, we're going to go upstairs. This episode is no different. Last week, we kicked it off, Her Core, Her Rules, this season with women's college basketball, okay, starring the ACC, right? Because we got the ACC and the SEC tournament right now, and I kind of sit dead in the center of ACCville, right? And boom, so I usually follow the ACC more than the SEC. Usually for me, even though y'all know the SEC got some of them hitters, you feel me? So it's some teams out there that I always keep my eye on because you gotta watch some of them. You know what I'm saying? You got to watch South Carolina, right? Come on now. You got to watch LSU. Like, come on. We'd be crazy not to, right? But I've been following my Hokies. And so last episode, we started talking about the ACC edition, tapped into the SEC ACC challenge. And again, we talked about this upcoming game that just happened yesterday, Virginia Tech against Duke. Okay. And I'm VT down. Shout out to Miss D. She said I'm VT down with the orange. You heard? I gotta show love to the home team because the game yesterday was a kind of an embarrassment, right? So I'm gonna still lift our spirits up and try to talk about us with a little bit of grace, but I'm only gonna do so much, okay? Um, Again, y'all, before we get into the episode and get into the real tea, each and every episode is powered by For Your Lens, a lifestyle brand encouraging dope people like you to do all things, live, move, create, and do all things with purpose and intention. We are on our road to 500 subscribers. So everybody who pull up, I would appreciate if y'all go ahead and hit that like and hit that subscribe while you're there, while you here politicking with us. And yeah, again, everything is appreciated. Much love to y'all. Peace and freedom. Y'all already know how we get down. So listen though. I'm at the game because y'all know I went to the game, right? I went to the game yesterday. And I'm at the game and I'm like, okay, I traveled. I didn't travel quite a ways, but I traveled a little ways, right? For my team, right? I ain't complaining. I ain't complaining. I'm not mad. I ain't mad. I promise y'all I ain't mad. I go down to the game and I'm like, yeah, high energy, high energy, high energy. Um, what we doing today, y'all? What we doing today? I'm excited. I'm excited. What we doing? What we doing? And so before I get into the meat and potatoes of the episode, I'm just gonna let y'all know out the gate, I just didn't have a good vibe about my squad. I just didn't have a good vibe based off what I saw. And I got there early for a reason because I want to see them warm up and things, right? Okay. So they lost to Duke 70-54, if y'all didn't know that. 70 to 54. That's nasty work early. Nasty work early. Okay. By the way, Duke game was our first ACC matchup, right? So I'm like, wow, okay. We finally in conference. What we gonna do? What we dropped 54 to they 70. Okay. But what the game told me a lot more than the actual final score if y'all watched the game. Now, whether I was watching on TV or watching in person. The only reason why I stayed as long as I did was because I was watching in person. Had I been watching this game on TV, I would have clicked out second quarter. Bloop. I'm not watching no more of this. I'm not. So, okay, let's talk about it. From the scoring struggles from the early on in the game, okay, to Duke's game plan. They had a game plan and they executed. And the body language early and late from our Hokies, I knew. Look at my glasses. Even my glasses knew. My glasses like, hold on, Nas, you a little crooked. I don't know why I'm crooked. Sitting sideways, throwed in the game. That's what my glasses saying right now. It's okay. It's okay. Players F up. Listen, I knew early that this might be one of them games where we really get tested for real, for real. And I told y'all last episode that Duke, don't let their record fool you. Duke is not to be played with. Okay? Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Because I told y'all, this was from last week. I told y'all last week. We looked good coming into the season, right? We always get off to a good start, our Hokies. Okay? We always get off to a good start. But it's how we continue, and it seemed like we stumble. It seemed like once we play like the beginning, them early games, them really don't be the games for real, for real. You gotta play a good 7 games before you really start to see the competition rolling in, right? We know how the college season goes. It's kind of like the NBA. You have that early season, them first 20 games, like nobody really checking for them. Shout out to my Cavaliers. They looking like the Cavaliers. It's okay. It's growing. We gonna figure it out. Okay, pray for us. Pray for the Virginia Tech Hokies fan base right now. The men is doing some all right sometimes, but pray for my Cavaliers. Just peace and freedom, everybody, y'all. This is one of them kumbaya type episodes. Okay. Shout out to Tessa Love. Each and every episode, she always pulls up and shows love. Same thing with Miss D. Shout out to my faithfuls, always supporting, right? Again, we on the road to 500 subscribers, y'all. Right? It's cool here. It's kumbaya here. You feel me? Her rules. Make sure y'all like, share, and subscribe, and definitely get into the comments and a live chat. You feel me? Appreciate y'all. Yeah, Cavaliers, that's what they looking like, but we ain't talking about them. Y'all gonna have to pull up on Wednesday at 6 p.m. and we'll talk about them later. Maybe not this Wednesday. I gotta get them right because the Cavaliers, they ain't worth my time right now, but that's another thing for another day. So this is what we were talking about last week. We were talking about the rising stars. Who needs to show up? What do they need to do this game to make it competitive, regardless of Duke's record? I knew coming into this game that they were going to be a problem, and they proved to be just that. Okay. So if anybody watched the game, what stood out to y'all in the beginning? If you looking at our rising stars, did y'all see any of our rising stars rise up? Oh, we'll talk about it later. We'll talk about it later. We'll talk about it later. But the identity breakdown, the things that I was coaching and preaching last week, exactly about what we should not be doing, okay, and how we can lock in, we didn't execute that early in the game, right? Let's talk about some stats here because stats can tell you a lot more than I can, okay? And then we're going to tap into what Megan Duffy said about her. Matter of fact, let's tap into what Megan Duffy said first. And then we're going to go to these stats. Hold on, because what she said is critical. This is the head coach for Virginia Tech, and this is what she has to say regarding her perspective of the outcome and the play of her team against Duke.
All right, we have Carleigh Wenzel, Garris Baker, and Coach Duffy in the room. Coach Duffy, please start us off with the opening statement, please.
Yeah, sure. I mean, I thought Duke played a tremendous game on the defensive end. We were a little bit concerned them coming off, a few losses, what they were going to be like, and I thought we got punched pretty good at times. It's kind of an ugly first half, but just overall disappointed with a little bit of our execution and how we came out today.
Okay, so bet we're gonna pick up right there. She said she was disappointed in their execution, right? And then that Duke's defense, what she didn't say because she didn't define their defense pressured them sometimes full court, but majority of the game half court press the entire game. And when I say half court press, I say the moment that ball crosses that half court, you feel me? It's pressure on the ball. There is no space between the person dribbling and the Dookies, right? They're right there. They're body to body. They got hands on you. They in your face. The point guard all over the face. Ashley Johnson, she all over the place. You feel me? It's the entire team's mentality that came out because Kara Lawson said, hold on, LSU pulled our card. Y'all know that card, right? Y'all know what Flau'jae did. Okay. So Kara Lawson said, hold on, hands up. We got to retool. We got to retool. I got to get my team. We got to tap back in to that mentality. That's that dog mentality. Like, no, when you're playing us, you're playing Duke. Okay, big shoes over here. You feel me? And so yesterday they had that energy. They had the energy in the warm-ups, in the pregame. They had it. They had it. They were stretching, they were sprinting, they were going through their drills hard in the warm-ups, in the pregame. We're talking an hour before the game. The Dukes, the Dukies, they're on the court. They're sweating. They're going through their things hard. Boom, boom, drill, boom, going through, boom. Meanwhile, I'm looking over here at Virginia Tech. My Hokies over here, and they casually getting their shots up. They laughing, they kicking it. Yo, they kicking it when they going through their little sprint drills. Right, the coach is turned up. The must be the strength and conditioning coach. Right, he turned up. If y'all think I'm lying, if y'all, you know what, I got a video on my page. I'm gonna pull it up later. I'm gonna pull it up later. They chilling. They not. And I'm watching the pregame, and I'm like, you know what? How you start is how you finish. My mom always told me that. You feel me? How you start is how you finish. And I'm so mad that my glasses keep being crooked like this. That's okay. That's okay. I've just fixed them. I just fixed them. That's okay. That's okay. Hands up. So when they going through the pre-games all, just la la la, it's just another game. This ain't just no another game. You playing Duke. You playing Duke. This ACC, baby. This ACC land. You playing Duke. Anytime it's in conferences, you mean business, right? You can have that same energy when you playing Presbyterian or Radford or whoever the hell. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to them, man. Ain't no shade. But at the end of the day, when you go to play a name, I don't care who's on that team. Duke is a name. And it's always them versus you. And so how you show up in pregame, that's how you're going to play. And the same, not physicality, like just no intention and purpose with the dribble. I see a spot, I'm going to go there. It just didn't exist. And I think partly, like Megan Duffy said, Duke's pressure they was on them. They hawked them down and they ducked and folded, right? Now, let's look at the team stats real quick, because we're gonna look at how the pressing of Duke, what that contributed to. I'm not making this up. Y'all think I'm playing. All right, bet. Think I'm playing. Duke was tired of losing and came out mad. Yes, they did. They came out mad. They were angry. Okay. And I seen it. I said, "Oh, bro, they not playing, bro. They doing them drills. They sprinting, bro. They running." And on the flip side, right? Virginia Tech finally get a rebound, right? Because y'all see here. See the discrepancy? 50 to 34. 50 to 34. So peep game. Early in the first quarter, right? They have a young lady, Freeline. Okay, she's one of the rising stars. Okay, I talked about her last episode. Okay, Freeline. She's averaging a double plus. She gives them 2 blocks a game. Early in the first quarter, I'm sorry, she catches a second foul. So I said, all right. She definitely gone all of this quarter. But what I didn't know is that Megan Duffy was gonna sit her all the second quarter too. And I said, well. When you do things like that, you get results like this. When you have your best rebounder on the bench, now granted, she in foul trouble. Yeah, she got 2 fouls early in the first. But what you drilling her on the next go round, right? You let her sit half that second quarter, but you need her back out there, and now you got to look her square in the face, look her in her eyes, and say, "Don't get another foul." You play smart, you play hard, but you play smart, and you keep your hands out. Okay, if it ain't clean, don't go for it. I don't want you trying to go for no blocks right now. You in foul trouble, and guess what happened? She sits the entire second quarter. Not a smart rotation for me. That's not a smart decision for Megan Duffy, coach, second-year coach, right? That's not smart. You got to keep the hitters on the court, okay? And then if she get a third foul, now she got to pay the piper, right? Now she got to go ahead and ride that pine, Okay, get comfortable, baby. We see you in the fourth. But when she sit the whole second, that means that now in third quarter, she going to have a burst of energy, right? She's still coming out reaching, didn't get called for. I said, oh, God, they could have called that. Thank God they didn't. Didn't matter because she picked up a third foul early in the third. I said, oh, no. What was the adjustment made? What's the conversation had in the locker room on halftime? Why we coming out doing the same things we did the first two quarters as if we was busting their ass? No, we needed to change the script on everything. So y'all tell me, right? We looking at the stats, team stats. We ain't even got into the individual stats. We looking at the team stats, right? We looking at team stats. So the rebounds jump out to you, glaring, boom. What else? What else? Y'all see this foolery? 40% to 27%. I'm sitting in the stands and I'm like, okay, 2 things for certain, 3 things for sure. You ain't gonna win no game shooting 27% from the field. That's a fact. That's a fact. That's a fact. Not gonna win no games shooting that low. Number 1. Number 2, you ain't gonna win no games getting slaughtered on the glass like this either. Hello, how you doing? You're not doing well, actually. Not doing well here. Okay. Look at this defensive rebounds, bro. Come on, bro. Look at the defensive rebounds. Why? Because our best rebounder is on the bench. Okay, bet. Boom. And then look at this. Hold on. Where I'm at. Not that. We did well there. The turnovers. Okay. The turnovers. Now, they turned the ball over. Like they said, I don't want this. I don't believe in this ball. My coach ain't gonna have me doing no laps for turning the ball over. That's how both of these teams was turning the ball over. Virginia Tech averages 14 turnovers a game anyway, right? So I expected high turnovers. Okay. What I didn't expect us to get beat in every other category though. Blocks are about the same, steals, so we net even on the steals and blocks. Boom. Look how many more assists they had, right? And they actually had a little thing going on in the arena. If Virginia Tech got 10 assists, it was, the fans got something. Well, the fans got nothing. You see how I didn't even remember what we was supposed to get? Because we didn't get it. They shot 27% and got out hustled. Exactly. They got so many more offensive rebounds. Let's look at the offensive rebounds. They got 5 more offensive rebounds. But I'm going to show y'all some other right here. So the ACC has their own like website, obviously, and they have a better breakdown for their like stats, like game time stats. So I'm gonna pull up this ACC website, right? And let's look at theirs because hold on, my good googly took off on me. Yowza. All right. I like how these things break down like this. Okay, boom, check it. So, dude, it's a low scoring game, right? 14-12. It's a snooze fest. But I'm like, okay, well, at least it's competitive, right? It was a lot of turnovers. It was just a messy from both teams, though. This ain't no individual person or team. This everybody, just messy, a messy game, right? Again, 24 turnovers, 17 turnovers. Get you shitting me? I did not come all this way, pay all this money. Okay, I invested all my gear, got my Virginia Tech drippity drip to see this mess. That's okay. I saw it anyway. 14-12. Okay, boom. Maybe can y'all even see that? Okay, that's a little better. Jeez, I was blinding y'all, wasn't I? 14-12, first quarter, right? Dude, now here's where it started getting crazy. Look at these scores. 12, 14, 15, 13. You not winning. No, you can't score 20. You can't get to 20 points. It's 5 people on the court. 5. You with 5 people, we can't get to 20 points a quarter. Y'all. Okay, so a couple flaws that I saw right in the game. Let's talk about what my lens, even if they want to be crooked today. Okay, that's they want to hate on me. That's okay. That's okay. That's okay. Jerome Rome in the house with the crooked glasses. Whatever. I'm about to take them off. But if I take them off, then I can't see. So I'm back with them on. Life come at you fast, don't it? Shit. All right, whatever. Anyway, I need everybody who watching just do this with your head, right? And then my glasses will be straight on, at least on y'all end. Okay, bet. So from my perspective though, okay, I'm watching the game and I'm like, our offense is just basic, right? What we're basically doing, because it's basic as hell. You have a guard come bring the ball down. Guard bring the ball down. There's a high screen on the ball, right? We did this same thing for 3 quarters. Ball come down, high screen on the ball. There is no action on that baseline. There's no baseline cut. There's no backdoor screens. Duke is pressing and pressuring. What does that mean? When you're running a pick and roll and you're only picking on the ball and they are pressing the offense, that means that pick and that pass off that pick or that handoff off that pick now becomes messy. You can't get it off clean because they pressing you. They removing all your space. They say, "Nah, you ain't no space. You know, I'm upon you. Now what? What you gonna do now? You gonna move me? You gonna do something?" They didn't do nothing. They got pressed. You ever been pressed? If you ain't never been pressed, shout out to you if you ain't never been pressed. For those of us who have been pressed, the talk is different. So you understand what now applying genuine pressure to somebody is, right? Literally or figuratively, okay? Or basketball-y. You feel me? So I'm at the game, I'm watching the game. I'm like, all right, we got to do something different. I'm not mad at the pick and roll. I'm just mad at the attack, the point in which you set the pick. It can't always be on the ball, top of the key. Even if you will say, "Oh, we're gonna trick them, we're gonna do the pick from the wing," it's still on the ball, right? So what needs to happen is instead of you going for that pick, nah, you just roll off act like you're gonna come set the pick, roll off that pick, and you set a down screen pick to somebody in that wing. Allow them to come up. Then you run your butt down. But what I'm seeing is this: the conditioning ain't quite right for Virginia Tech. I think they got a little winded a little bit. I don't know why. You had a little time off. Even if it was just a day, that's enough to get your win back. No back-to-backs. No game yesterday. This ain't a tournament. This a challenge, right? This ain't even that. This ACC, you coming off the challenge. You had a great win, too, in the ACC SEC challenge, right? We get over here and lay egg. I don't know. Y'all tell me. I don't get it. I don't get it. And the fans was losing their mind because they was like, what is happening? I'll tell you what happened. Here's what happened. We're looking at Duke's numbers, right? This is Duke's numbers. They got 20 shots up, 6 for 20, 30%, 6 for 15, 40%. They're getting a little bit better. 7 for 12, less shots, better execution, right? Getting a little bit better, okay? Fourth quarter, 10 shots, 4 for 10, 40%, okay? They ended this game shooting 40% in the game, right? Look at the threes. 4 for 14. That ain't great. That's actually pretty bad. But okay, whatever. You're comparing. We're gonna look at the other team, right? My team, Virginia Tech, and we're gonna look at, okay, well, you mean like, well, we shoot like and y'all shooting like then I guess it's just, whoever stank the best. I don't know. I mean, what happens here? But here's the difference. They shot 12. They had 12 attempts in the third quarter, shooting 58%. And they went to the free throw line 8 times, 7 for 8. Second quarter, they went to the free throw line 9 times. I'm in the stands going crazy. Where is the discipline? Stop fouling. Now, yeah, the refs kind of did a little bit much, but once you know that they going to be pity pat, tat, 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 pull your hands back. Move your damn feet. Okay? You can't play defense with your hands. Stop trying to go for the block. You ain't Mutombo. You not Mutombo. Stay on your feet. We went for every single last, and I'm not exaggerating, every single last pump fake they threw up. Every time they did this, we went, oh. I said, stay on your feet. Even so, what? You're not gonna block it anyway. Freeline is the only one that's actually averages some blocks. Okay, 2 blocks a game. Everybody else, stay down. Act like you a small person and just get low. Stay grounded. Like you really small though. Like get small. You know when you trying to squeeze in between some maybe I'm the only one to do this. If it's just me, let me know. But you know when you trying to squeeze in between something, you like, oh, I don't think I could probably make it through there, but I'm gonna try it anyway. And I tell myself in my mind, get skinny. Right? Get skinny. And I suck it all in and get real skinny in my mind at least, and I try to squeeze through. It just happened to me the other day. I was like, damn, I didn't make it quite through there. I really didn't. It's crazy. I gotta chill out. I got to chill out. But in the same respect, though, get small. Same thing. On the flip side, you be like, get big. If you get caught on the switch and you down there with a big, you in your mind, you get big. You Shaq now. You Asia now. In my mind, right? Because now I got to empower myself to be down here and not look small, not look like Mighty Mouse. Got to do the same thing in this respect, right? We was going for everything. Let's look at that. Let's look at our numbers, right? Let's look at our numbers. So y'all know I'm not making this up. Our point guard, Carleigh Wenzel, she had a tough night. She was 4 for 17. Tough night. Perfect from the line. Shout out to her. Okay, she shot a lot of threes, 3 for 7. I'm not mad at that. You know, she was the only one at some points that was even gonna attempt a shot, right? So shout out to Carleigh for at least having some guts. Okay, finished the game and being our leading scorer once again, 15 points. And I think a lot of times it's just because she don't mind taking a shot, whether it's a bad shot or whatever. She gonna take the shot. But I feel like this: Karis Baker, the coaching staff, y'all need to hear me. Karis Baker and the coaching staff at Virginia Tech, y'all need to feature Karis Baker as y'all number 1 scorer. She's the best shooter on this team, whether she get the same amount of touches or not. Okay, she's the best. She has the quickest release on this team. I seen another girl on the squad. I don't know her name. I think she had braids, or like twists or something going back. But her release was crazy too, crazy fast. Karis Baker, she plays the best defense on the team. I think she can guard 4 or 5 positions probably. Given the right spotlight, I think Karis Baker really could be an 18-point a night person. I really do. And an efficient 18-point a night person. But she got to be placed in the right spots. Although she is a great 3-point shooter, I think that she can be placed in the right spots where she can use her size, especially when she's on a mismatch. There were several times. Shout out to, let's go back up to Duke real quick. Number 22, Tiana Marr. I hope I'm saying your name right. If I'm not, she got game. She got game. Definitely, she got game. There were plenty of times though that she got caught up on checking Baker. And it's a notable size difference. Like she's a guard and Baker is kind of like a swing big type thing, right? And she got caught up on her, and the offense between Carleigh and number 3, oh yes, Mackenzie Nelson, right? Between Carleigh and Mackenzie Nelson, and sometimes Suffering, they just didn't get her the ball. And I'm like, if Mayer is checking Baker, there's no way that if you put Baker in the right spot that she can check her. Yeah, Mayer can check her on the 3-point line, right? Because Baker not gonna go past her, right? But if she on the elbow or if she on a block, it's barbecue chicken. The coach got to know that, and more importantly, I feel like even if my coach don't know that, respectfully to all the coaches out there, I feel like if I'm on a squad, any squad, whether I have a coach or not, I can get a clipboard and draw some shit up. for me and mine for the success because I'm probably smarter than the coach. No shade. The coach might know a couple little bit extra lingos or extra little plays because they went to coaching school or whatever the heck, wherever coaches go. But when it comes to just knowing this basketball, I'm trying to tell you. So I'm watching the game and I'm like, all right, Karis Baker is not being placed in the right spots, which means that she's taking more jump shots further away from the basket, which she can hit. But that's not where you want her bread and butter to be. You want her to be able to open up the offense by putting pressure on the defense because she getting them in the paint touches, right? Or right around the paint touch, 15 feet, right pump fake, one dribble in, high, put that shot up, boom. She got the floaters. I seen her in the pregame working on the floaters, right? She can hit it from both sides. But what's that's not in the playbook though, right? Everything is around the perimeter, offensively and defensively. Everything is around the perimeter. You can kind of see it in, let's talk about it. You can see it in the stats. I'm not making this up. Look at the stats. Look at the stats. Carleigh got a lot of shots off. 17 shots to get 15 points. Yikes. Yikes. But at least she was shooting. I must say, at least she shot the ball. A lot of the shots from Mel Daly was just weak. They were soft. I say, girl, you got all these muscles, but for why though? If you going up like, why you going up? You gotta go up strong. Hey. Why you got the biceps and the triceps and the traps and the why you got all that if you ain't using that though? I feel like you big for nothing. That's how I'm coming though. That's the mood that I'm in. Okay, you got to talk to me about it or show me something different. You feel me? And so let me get back to the point. So when you have people who are in the wrong spots, you make it harder for them to like really dominate and really, really literally flex their muscle, not just have muscles. You feel me? But I feel the same way with Mel Daly. And I'm challenging her a little bit, but mainly this whole video is about the coaching. This whole video about the coaching because you have a lot of talent and they're working too hard, right? To get easy buckets. Okay. I think Carleigh needs to be taken off the ball a little bit more. Right. I know she is the point guard, right? She's the leader on the team. But I think her presence with her not having the ball is a little bit better. Because especially when she is being pressured, she don't come around those screens as strong. She just get a little timid on me. And although she stayed aggressive when it comes to shooting, because shooters shoot, duh. But when it comes to executing and being efficient, right? And leading your team and making sure we get a bucket and or get a stop, I don't think she did that. One of the people that I thought that did well and it may not show up in the stats was Samaya Suffering. I thought Samaya was strong. I thought that she had a lot of defensive intangibles that again won't come up in the stats, but from tips to deflections to just diving to just being in the right spot, I felt like she did her part. Again, I think that the offense just there is no identity in the offense and how it's constructed. I think they have a lot of great players, but I don't think there is intention about going to the paint or getting into the paint because everything is in a perimeter and that just doesn't make for a well balanced team, a diverse team, or a team that can execute when their jump shot is not falling. So that's kind of what I picked up on just kind of watching the game. Another thing is that like I don't know what they're practicing when they're talking about like fast break. When we're doing a fast break, they forget like they don't have the move, like they don't have the euros, even just a simple jump stop, you know what I mean? Pump fake, get them up there so you can get you a clean layup. They don't have the change in speed, so even if you going real fast and just know how to slow your 1-2 step down to make that layup or hang in the air a little bit longer so you don't, you know what I mean? You ain't rushing. All the fast break layups, they was just, let me get down there and throw it up. Let me just, oh. And I'm like, bruh. Now again, when you in high school and it's like, you know somebody on your heels, yeah. But I expect you though on this D1 ACC level though, I expect you to know how to handle a fast break layup with somebody trailing you, right? And if you don't know how to handle that, that means you're not practicing that. That means y'all doing layup drills and layup lines, but ain't no defense. And I know that's a fact because when I'm looking at the pregame, there's no defense out there. There's just somebody passing the ball, get your shot, and that's cool. That's cool. But when I'm looking at these slow ass shots going up, I'm like, this your game speed shot? Because if this your game speed shot, this Jones slow as hell. How you gonna get that off? Who gonna? Because if it's that slow, you need to be practicing pump fake, step back, get them on the hip. Like that's how the pregame need to. You need to be practicing like it's somebody there. You feel me? And that's crazy, y'all. Because sidebar, I just saw a clip where Kyrie, shout out to Kyrie, yo, man. He one of the greatest ever to bounce a basketball. Right? Might be the greatest ball handler ever to bounce a basketball, but in the NBA. But anyway, I just saw a clip of him saying, like, when some young cats was practicing, he was like, nah, like it ain't nothing wrong with like casually going through your routine and your steps, your moves, your combinations, but you got to go through them like somebody right there though. Like, cause there's never gonna be a time where you doing all this dribbling in the game and nobody's there. If if it's a fast break and you stop to do all these dribbles, you're getting yanked and you probably would never get in the game again or any game because that's ludicrous, right? So if nobody's checking you, you hightailing it to the basket, right? Dunk, easy layup. So if you're doing this while you're rehearsing, acting like I'm just casually dribbling, blah 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 blah, casually shooting, then this fool's gold. This is fake. Y'all know how I always say over here on this channel, Beyond the Lens TV. While y'all here, make sure you hit that like and subscribe. You feel me? Fool's gold. Fool's gold. Miss Deer is right. They don't have a post. They kind of do, but they don't because shout out to Megan Duffy, but she don't really know how to put them down there in the post and see what they got. Like, I can't definitively say if either one of the post players, Freeline or what's the old girl name? Hold on. What's the old girl name? Number 30. Anaya Trent. Yeah, I can't say if Freeline or Trent have like drop steps up and under because I really didn't see them in a post much, right? Because the offense is like guard heavy, so everything is going around, pick around the 3-point line. They get inside the 3-point line a little bit, and they stop for the mid range. It's never nothing to the basket. It's never nothing going to the basket. Let me try to draw and then kick. Even when they tried to draw in the kick, the pass was lazy. It was the wrong pass. Lord knows. So many times I saw them do a little chest pass, and I'm like, if it was only a bounce. More bounce to the ounce. Listen, I know it's easy to do that. Who on that she right there? I see her. Ooh, but guess what? She see you. When the defender see you, guess what? Deflection or interception. You feel me? Other way, fast break. So I saw a lot of that yesterday. I didn't like that, bro. I did not like that. And I told y'all that Duke was somebody to be played with. Like didn't I try to tried to tell y'all. Look, I said, don't let the record fool y'all. Duke is long, physical, and defensively disruptive. I said that. And what they do, they came in there and did exactly that on a slight 2 p.m. on a Sunday. You feel me? They control the boards. I said Naj's keys to win, control the rebounds. Let's see if we did that. Hold on. Let's go back to ESPN. Control the rebounds. Freeline must dominate the glass. What she didn't because she was on the bench. Protect the ball. Get Wenzel and Daly touches early. They got to find a rhythm. They didn't find it. Right? And Nelson's pace equals everything. Okay. So if we look at again the team stats again, they didn't do what I told them to do. And usually when you don't do what I say, you bump your head. I'm sorry. It is what it is. Y'all, it ain't me. It ain't me. I gave y'all the Naja's keys to win. They didn't get the key and turn it. They threw the key away. They ignored the key and then they lost. Respectfully though. You feel me? Well, they didn't lose respectfully, but it's just respectfully that we're talking about it because I really wanted them to win. I really did. I really did. Let's listen a little bit more of Megan Duffy, then we're gonna get on up out of here. I told you it was gonna be a short episode today. I really did. Hold on.
All right, open up for questions. Thomas first.
Coach, seemed like the team struggled shooting today, just over 25%. What do you think the Duke did defensively to make that happen?
Yeah, I mean they're big, they're long, they're physical. They they're going to prevent you from getting to some of your spots. I think one of the things we were talking about a lot leading up to this game was changing sides of the floor, and I just thought we were a little bit tentative with that. So we'll go back to kind of the drawing board and figuring out ways that we can help our women get some easier shots. I think what we did, we rushed them a little bit too, just with a little bit of their size and length.
And then Mayer with 6 steals.
Didn't I tell y'all that? What I said. The shots that we did get that should have been easy shots, we rushed those, right? And then, like she said, that they took us out of our rhythm, but also I didn't really think that we had a good identity going into this game as far as like how do we maximize the players that we have. They beat a better team in NC State, but Duke was mad and they played inspired. Absolutely. Absolutely. They played inspired. And we played as if Duke was their record. We play as if it ain't number 3 and 5. We ain't they ain't nothing. We're gonna go and roll over them. No, you're not gonna do it. You think and Carol, let me tell you something about Carol Lawson, right? Shout out to Carol. Y'all know Carol Lawson is a G. Listen, she on the sideline popping the whole game, right? Anything happen, bro. She like this that. Like it ain't. I'm not saying she was vulgar or anything, but you could tell that like she had opinions and live reactions and emotional like outbursts the entire game from the sidelines, like as a coach. And I just thought that was it. Just showed like her level of commitment and just passion to coaching this team and coaching this team to a victory. I on the flip side, I saw Megan Duffy and I saw her being a little tight about things, but I ain't see no adjustments, and that's respect. I ain't see no changes, and if you don't see no changes, then I mean, come on now, nothing go change. I mean, that ain't even rocket science. That's just regular shit. That's regular rap. You feel me? Shout out to y'all, man. It's just another episode of Her Core, Her Rules. It's your girl Naja Lee, man. We do this every Monday at 6 p.m. You feel me? We actually normally do our hold on, man. Hold on. Megan Duffy's still trying to take over my screen. On Wednesdays, we normally do our Cavs State of Mind. But this Wednesday, man, I don't know, man. I might have to give my Cavs a break. We taking this whole week off. Cavaliers, so they don't have a game until Friday. So I feel like I ain't gonna do Cavs State of Mind again until Friday. Cause y'all taking time off, I'm taking time off too. Cause y'all, I deserve time off from these bozos right now. But you know, these my guys, and I still rock with them. So Wednesdays, not this Wednesday, but usually every Wednesday we pull up and do Cavs State of Mind. But we gonna do this Cavs State of Mind on Friday. And y'all know that each and every episode is powered by you already know what time it is. Free Your Lens, a lifestyle brand encouraging dope people like you to live, move, and create and do all things with purpose and intention. Yo, check out the website. We got some dope merch on there if you haven't already. Miss D said it's still early. Don't give up, man. I ain't giving up on these bums yet, man. I ain't giving up on them yet. But like for real though, I ain't gonna be stressed out about them. I can tell you that. They ain't about to have my blood pressure. They ain't about to have me in the my chart talking about Doc. You was right. I need to leave these calves alone. Nah, see, I ain't about to do that. I'm just gonna back out and be like, man, y'all got it, man. Y'all out here losing to some bums and shit. That's okay. That's okay. Time gonna tell. Time gonna tell. So yeah, I appreciate y'all for rocking with us again. We always tap in and approach basketball, whether it's women's basketball, whether it's men's basketball. We approach everything from a higher perspective, and try to keep it a bean with y'all, because you know what I'm saying, y'all smart. Y'all know when somebody ain't being genuine and authentic. That's why we do everything with purpose and intention over here. You heard? Pull up every Monday for another episode of Her Court, Her Rules. Next Monday, we're going to go around the NCAA a little bit and kind of tap in to what our favorite teams are doing. Again, there are a lot of great teams out there, a lot of great standout women players, from the Audie Crooks to, Hannah's to, we can keep going. Flauger's. It's a lot of ballers out there right now. And we're going to go around the NCAA women's basketball and, talk about that. My girl Miss D said, catch me on the D block. You heard? Shout out to Detroit basketball again, holding it down for the Midwest. My Cavs dropping the ball. That's okay. We're gonna pick it up and hold it down for the Great Lakes. We just on the other side of the lake, and we letting the lakes down right now. Okay. We ain't gonna be the mistake on the lake this year. I promise you that. So shout out to y'all. Shout out to Detroit basketball. Shout out to Free Your Lands Society. Shout out to y'all. Be sure to pull up on Monday at 6 p.m. for Her Court, Her Rules. And this Friday, we're going to do the Cavs State of Mind, see what these bozos talking about. I don't know. It's just me. Appreciate y'all. Peace and freedom. You already know what time it is. It's your girl, Naja Lee, signing out.